Hey y'all, so I figured I better give a little background on the reasoning for this video. So I have tried gardening once or twice before, and they usually end up in like this. So anyway, in my defense, it's not that I forget to water plants all the time, it's just I don't water them in regular intervals that they apparently need to thrive or something. So this year I'm going all out, and I got really nervous because things don't like to grow in the desert and I wasn't going to be home at all to take care of them. And then this thing called quarantine happened, and I'm going to be home all of spring and summer terms. So that means I have no excuse not to water plants in the morning. So this is a document of me forcing myself to garden because I really like making things out of things that I garden, and I like drying herbs and making herbal teas and like balms and facial stuff, but it's like I can't just buy all that stuff at the farmer's market anymore. I have to grow it. So this is me attempting to grow things. But first, I'm going to go on a walk with my mom, and then I will show you the current status of everything. Alrighty, I'm back. Here is what we are working with. Our beautiful raised beds that last year literally nothing came to maturity except for these strawberries over here that are already starting to come back a little bit. So it's actually too cold to probably plant things in here right now. So I'm just gonna clear out all the beds and then get the right kind of soil in here. And then also I have some things to start indoors. Hey, look at that nice little dead plant from last season. I want to get lavender started in here, and then also these little tiny these little tiny cherry tomatoes. But first I have to find rocks to go in the bottom of this, because I figured out why they were dying. This gal who is basically a plant whisperer helped me out. Apparently the roots were rotting because it doesn't drain, and so if I put some rocks down below the soil, then that shouldn't happen. I have high hopes. And then before we were all stuck indoors, that's literally all I have. That's it. The size of my foot. Like, that's all there is. So I'm probably going to have to pay my old compost bin a visit and hope that there's enough dirt around from, I don't know, any leftover compost to kind of mix in here. We have some of the old stuff, but it'd be nice to get something that might actually provide nutrients to these plants, because I want to succeed. Also, on another note, all of this lovely decay should probably actually go into my proper composting bin, which I actually got from an old coworker who couldn't move with all of their worms. Here she is in all of her glory, got little plants already making. Most of it is already actually good stuff to mix in. But, oh look, the little worms are alive! They made it through the frozen winter. But I'm probably gonna want to move this away from here so it actually gets some sunlight and actually breaks down a bit more. So I'm probably gonna bring it a little closer to the actual garden. Well, 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 what do we have here? We had an intruder. But we can use that instead of using up all of my very sad seedling mix. Things have now been officially shookened up. So now all that's left is to add that bad boy, and then I think I'm gonna call it a day after planting these guys. But first I'll have to go on a little rock hunt, and hopefully I'll be successful. And after much time later, we are finally done with the first step, at least. There's quite a bit that needed pulled out, but now we can hack into things a little bit farther and sprinkle some of this in there, and then I think that's all I'm going to do today. I still need to pot some of my plants that need to start indoors first, like the tomatoes and the lavender. And so far my hunt for rocks, this is the rock I have, yeah, that hasn't been as successful, so I'll need to have a more thorough search eventually. She's far from complete, but that's all I'm gonna do for now. I'll have to do a little bit more. I'll probably have to weed all over again as soon as it's actually warm enough to plant. But I think that's good for now. But now, it's time for a rock hunt. Look at that sad, lone little rock. Like, that's it. That's the only rocks I'll have. In this whole free world, can I not find, like, any more large rocks? Other than these tiny little things? Look at all those rocks. Wait, is that a rock I see? That is really funny to meet you here at a place like this. What a haul! Well, would you look at her? She looks pretty nice. I've made a mistake. They say they're container friendly. As long as they're 12 inches apart. This thing's only 12 inches long. Well, it's survival of the fittest. So in the end, I only felt good about putting the tomatoes in there because they're way too close together. Like, that far apart. So I'm gonna have to put these little babies in something else for the time being. And then once these are okay to go outside, these will get to go in here. So that means I have to find a little pot to start these in, because I think they need to start before the last frost as well. So that's exciting. And we're just gonna plump this guy right on in there. And moisten. So I suppose I will inform you as to whether anything dies and if I can successfully call myself a partial, probably, maybe gardener. Goodbye. Rock hunt.